So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily MCQ Practice, in which we cover a particular day's current affairs through a set of 4 to 5 MCQs. The idea is that you get to revise your current affairs through MCQ, because what better way to revise current affairs than MCQs? But there is another purpose, and that is that these 4 to 5 MCQs covered on a daily basis would add up to more than 1200 MCQs by the time you're ready for your next prelims examination. So these 4 to 5 MCQs might seem like a little effort in one day, but these done over a period of time add up to more than 1200 MCQs. So you wouldn't have to worry about your current affairs portion when it comes to your prelims examination. So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine, a daily habit of yours. All right, let's begin today's session with question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding Pacific Ring of Fire. Also known as Circum-Pacific Seismic Belt, it is one of the 3 large earthquake zones of the Earth. The Pacific Ring of Fire is the second most earthquake-prone region of the world after Alpide Belt. The biggest recorded earthquake of magnitude 9.5 happened in Chile in 1960, which lies in the Circum-Pacific Seismic Belt. Okay, so Pacific Ring of Fire is when the large Pacific Ocean tectonic plate, Pacific Plate, collides with the continental plates of its neighboring areas, neighboring tectonic plates, okay, like the Eurasian plate, Philippines plate, Australian plate, North American plate, South American plate. Okay, when it collides, it produces earthquakes, and a lot of volcanic eruptions also happen in this area. That is why it is known as Pacific Ring of Fire. It is also known as Circum-Pacific Seismic Belt. Now, on Earth, there are 3 large zones which are the most earthquake prone. Okay, one is this Ring of Fire, Circum-Pacific Belt, Seismic Belt. Okay, the other is the Alpide Belt. What is Alpide Belt? Well, it starts from the Andaman Nicobar Island region, then extends to Himalayas, then extends to Iran and even the Alps of Europe. Okay, it is where the Indian plate collides with the Eurasian plate, and also the African plate colliding with the European plate. So basically, this is the Alpide region, and that is why Himalayas, which lies in this Alpide region, is an earthquake prone zone. And third is Mid-Atlantic Ocean Ridge, okay, which is in the middle of Atlantic Ocean. These are the 3 most earthquake prone zones, but the strongest among them is Ring of Fire, Circum-Pacific Belt, okay, because 80% of the earthquakes worldwide occur in this belt. Clear? So first statement is correct, but second statement is false, because it is not the second most, it is the most. All right. Now, the biggest recorded earthquake of magnitude 9.5 happened in Chile, and this also lies in Circum-Pacific Seismic Belt, because the Pacific plate collided with the South American plate, and the epicenter of the earthquake was in Chile. Okay, so third statement is also correct. Only 2 statements are correct. The answer is B. Question number 2. Which of the following is our correct regarding beggar thy neighbor policy? It is an economic strategy where a country tries to improve its own economy at the expense of other nations. The concept was coined by David Ricardo, a 19th century British economist. The tools for this policy include trade barriers, currency manipulation, subsidy regime for domestic industry. Now listen to me. Beggar thy neighbor policy was given by the father of economics. And you should know who is the father of economics. It's basically Adam Smith. Okay, he wrote a book, Wealth of Nations, in which he coined the term beggar thy neighbor policy. And this beggar thy neighbor policy is when a country tries to grow economically by hurting other countries economically. Okay, what Donald Trump is currently doing with the rest of the world. Okay, he is levying tariffs on India. This would hurt India economically, but this would benefit America economically, right? So this is known as the beggar thy neighbor policy. So first statement is correct, but second statement is false, because it is not David Ricardo. It is a Scottish economist, Adam Smith. Okay, now the tools for this policy is trade barriers, the tariff barriers, which Donald Trump is currently using, currency manipulation, where you deliberately depreciate your currency so that you can export more. You provide subsidies to your own industries so that they are cost competitive. This is what China does. Okay, so that they are cost competitive with the rest of the world's industry. Okay, so third statement is correct. 1 and 3, the answer is C. Question number 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, popularly known as CTE? It is a degenerative brain disease caused by accumulation of years of concussive or subconcussive impacts on the head. Memory loss, suicidal tendencies, erratic behavior are some of its symptoms. There is currently no treatment or cure for CTE. So what is CTE? CTE happens when you take mild blows to the head. Those mild blows do not hurt you. For example, if you're playing football, you head the ball, right? That's a header and you score a goal. You are very happy. But that football which hits your head, that's a mild blow. It doesn't hurt you. But if this happens over a prolonged period of time, continuously over a prolonged period of time, it eventually damages your brain. It degenerates your brain cells and it causes chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So first statement is correct. But remember, it is not one big blow to the head. It is accumulation of small, which do not hurt a lot, blows to the head. And this disease basically hurts sportsmen, sports people. Okay, so first statement is correct. Now, when you develop CTE, well, memory loss is one of the symptoms, suicidal tendencies, erratic behavior, depression, and many other things. Okay, your brain is damaged basically. So this is also correct. And yes, if you have CTE, there is no treatment available. You just can manage your symptoms. That's it. So third statement is also correct. All statements are correct. The answer is D. Question number 4. Consider the following regarding Judges Protection Act 1985. The Act shields judges from lawsuits only in criminal cases for actions taken while carrying out their judicial duties. The law prevents any government authority to take action against a judge for misconduct in his personal capacity. The law allows the judge to perform their duties without fear or of personal repercussions. Okay. Now look, judges take a lot of decisions. Okay. Some of those decisions can be controversial and most of these decisions would hurt someone or the other. Now, so that judges can take their decisions without fear and fulfill their judicial duties, well, Judges Protection Act was enacted. Under this, if a judge has taken any decision in his judicial capacity, remember, not in his personal capacity, in his judicial capacity as a judge, if he has taken any decision, you cannot lodge a case against that judge, whether that's a criminal case or it's a civil case. No case can be filed against a judge because of anything performed by him in his official capacity. Okay, so first statement is false because of the word only in criminal cases. It's both civil and criminal. Okay, now the thing is that the judge is protected only in case of his judicial duties. If he has done something in his personal capacity, for example, accepting bribes and all, well, then the government authority can take action against them. Okay, so the law prevents any government authority to take action? No. It basically allows the government to take action against a judge for decision taken in his personal capacity. So this is also false. The purpose of this law was to allow judges to perform their duties without fear of personal repercussions. This part is correct. So only 3. Alright, and last but not the least, consider the following regarding the in-house inquiry procedure against judges. It was adopted via 1999 full court resolution to handle complaints against judges. This is a statutory procedure that is mentioned in detail in Judges Protection Act. Under this, Chief Justice of India, after receiving formal complaint against a judge, can form an inquiry committee for probe. A judge can be dismissed by CJI if the report of inquiry committee recommends it. Okay, so which of the above statements are correct? Now look, the thing is, when we talk about Supreme Court or High Court, judges in these courts cannot be removed simply. They can only be removed if Parliament passes a resolution. It is a proper procedure and the resolution passed by the Parliament should be of 2/3 majority. Right? So this is a very difficult process. Okay, it is very difficult to remove judges. That is why there was this huge question as to if there are complaints against judges. Well, since their removal is very difficult, how would you ensure accountability? How would you take action against them? Right? Therefore, in 1999, Supreme Court decided basically that if there is a complaint against a judge, well, we'll have an in-house inquiry. That means within the Supreme Court, there will be an inquiry procedure against the judge. Okay, so first statement is correct. Now, this in-house inquiry procedure was decided by the Supreme Court. It is not mentioned in any law, so it does not have any statutory backing. It is not a statutory provision. It's not mentioned in any law. It is just decided by the Supreme Court. So this part is false. Now, under this procedure, if there is a complaint against a judge, whether Supreme Court or High Court, the Chief Justice of India can receive those complaints. And if he thinks there is merit in these complaints, then he can form an inquiry committee, okay, which will inquire into these allegations. Clear? So third statement is correct. Now, if the inquiry report says that the judge is guilty, then what will CJI do? Well, CJI can ask him to resign, ask him to retire, okay? But he cannot remove him, because removal is only possible through this process. That is Parliament, two-third majority, the entire process which is mentioned in the Constitution. So he can only ask him to resign and retire. The judge can refuse it also. He can refuse that I won't resign, I won't retire. Okay, that is possible. In that case, the Chief Justice of India can recommend the President that please start the proceedings for this Parliament two-third majority removal process, the formal removal process. But that would be only a recommendation. The final decision would be taken by Parliament, right? So, this statement is false because a judge cannot be dismissed by CJI. Remember this, okay? So, the correct answer to this question would be 1 and 3 only, C. All right? And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But I say this every time. It will add more value if you revise this lecture as well. And by revision, I mean taking a good look at written detailed solutions to each and every MCQ we just discussed. Now, these solutions are provided in our notes, and these notes are available on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section just below this video. All right then. On that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of MCQs. Thank you, everyone.